Round two, here we go. I am interviewing Maria Mizzi. She is transformational fitness and nutrition expert. So let's hold tight while we get her on here. Gotta love technology. Oh, yay! Approved.
I think we got it. Is it working?
We got it. Okay, so we can't. You're a genius. We can't be on the phone on the same time.
There we go. Okay, it worked. Awesome.
So good to see you, Maria.
Good to see you. Let me get my volume up now that we got it working. Technology.
Yeah, you just radiant.
Well, thank you.
You look like
You look amazing. I was watching you on your last video. Wow. Radiant. You are glowing from the inside out.
Yeah. We're seeing each other's beauty. I love it.
Yeah. So what are you doing? What's part of your transformation?
Okay, so you know, I made a post that I actually at a stage in my life where it's so hey, I'm really at a point where I have been doing so much healing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, personally, and I'm so ready because of California. I can't ignore the body aspect.
Yeah.
It's not about looking a certain, it's about having a relationship with my body that I've never had.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly been looking here up.
Okay.
You know, even like if you look at most of my pictures and stuff, they're always from here up.
Okay.
Because the relationship with here down is what I'm starting to turn into.
Wonderful.
So I've been practicing conscious and mindful eating
Wow.
for a couple years now.
Excellent.
And I've come a long way.
Great.
But I would love to dive in deeper because I are really such a wise soul when it comes to the nutritional aspect of nurturing our body with love and energizing our body. So I need that.
Yeah.
My energy, I'm really high on energy, but then I get so, it's just such a roller coaster. And so I want that to feel physical. And then there's some feedback on here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have speakers on?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what that is. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, so I'm curious because I read your bio and it looks like at a point in your life where you had like a date and something that triggered your journey. So this is literally just my journey. And so I'm just really reaching out to get some new perspective.
Nutrition.
Oh, you're locking up.
Hear how your journey started.
Health and nutrition. How your journey started.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit of feedback as I'm cutting out. You're freezing a little bit.
Did you get the question?
No, you're freezing.
Oh.
Okay.
Am I still frozen?
Nope, you're good now.
Moving? Okay.
We got it. Okay.
Yeah. So how did your journey start when it came to the relationship with your body?
Yes. For me, it happened over like kind of pretty quickly because I didn't realize where I was in my health. I was just living an unhealthy lifestyle. I was, working my career and focusing zero on myself. There was a point in my life when it was all about, building a life and getting to, build this vessel here. So I found myself at work one day and just sitting there and feeling like you said, like I have no energy. What is going on here? And then I started thinking about the things that I was doing every single day. And, I would wake up in the morning and I would probably eat a muffin for breakfast. So I'd be starting my day with like some Zoomy sugar that would get me going. and then I jet out the door, really busy at work. So I would end up eating at my desk. I would usually order something in. So I was eating fast food. So again, nothing to nourish my body. Then I would like a soda or a coffee or a piece of chocolate in the afternoon to again keep my energy up. And then I would get home at night and I would have a burger and fries and, you know, chase it with a beer so I could relax for the end of the night. And I was realizing that the food I was eating was also giving me the way I was feeling. I was eating crap, so I felt like crap. And I found myself, I was 40 pounds overweight. And I'm like, when did this happen? You know, one day you just look in the mirror and you don't even realize it because you're so busy just moving forward in this like zoom of life. And I had to stop for a minute. It was my birthday and I was driving home from work and I was just sitting in my car and I just looked down at my body. Like you said, I was living from here up and I looked down and I'm like, what happened? You know, I don't even know who this body is. Does it belong to me? And that day I said, okay, it's time to make a change. And so, you know, before that, I was trying different diets and different exercise programs, and nothing was really working. So then I started going to doctors. I'm like, maybe a doctor can help me figure this out. And the doctors didn't have any answers for me either. You know, they said the same thing: go on a diet, exercise, maybe take this pill. So there was no answers. So I really got frustrated. And a couple months later, I went home and I went to my husband. I said, listen, you know, I'm not feeling really good. I'm not feeling healthy in what I'm doing. I'm not getting answers. And I'm here to live this life because I want to live in joy. And that was always my personal message about life. And I said, I don't feel like I'm living in joy anymore. And I need to find out what that is. And I really believe that it has something to do with my body because I don't like it. I don't have energy. And I don't have confidence to do the things I want to do. So I ended up quitting my job in corporate America, working for a financial company, and I went back to school and I studied nutrition and fitness and psychology. And within that time, literally 3 months of being in school and just focusing on the holy, and you know, I thank my that I was able to really do that and be brave enough to do that. And I started to see changes in what I was doing. I said, okay, let me make this one shift. Let me do this. And I started learning about the movement of the body, the nutrients of the body. So it was more of the basics, what I say, of how your body changes. And I ended up losing the 40 pounds literally within 3 months after getting enough education to figure out how to heal myself naturally through food, through how we're thinking, the movement that we're doing. And I loved it so much that I said, I think I want to do this as a career, because it wasn't as a career at first. I was going back to school to save myself and my husband. Not only did I gain 40 pounds, but my husband gained over 100 pounds in that same time period. So what I remember one day, we were getting ready for work early in the morning under this high stress, and we're both getting ready in our bathroom in each of our mirrors. And all of a sudden I look over and I see him start to fall backwards. And I literally caught him in my arms, and he literally just passed out in the morning because of stress, being 100 pounds overweight, and just not having a direction. And that was also my meter to say, okay, I've healed myself, but I have a mission now, and I know it's to help other people do this as well. And I started with my husband. He was really, you know, my first client besides myself. And I found for me, it was more of a gentle approach that I took to taking simple shifts, because especially when you're dealing with somebody who is your spouse or your family member, they typically don't want to listen to you. So
Right.
I was actually just a great he watched what I was doing and he said, wow,
Yes.
what are you doing? Okay, let me do that. And it started slowly. He said, I don't want to change anything that I'm eating. You know, I love eating my burgers and fries, and I don't like vegetables. So what can I do? I'm eating out every day. And we just started slow things like, okay, when you're going out to the restaurant, you know, on your corporate meeting, instead of eating that whole meal, eat half of it. Wake up in the morning, instead of jetting right off to work, you know, wake up and move for 10 minutes. And we started doing that slowly. And for him too, within 9 months of following that protocol, he lost 100 pounds. And
Wow.
what I really found after that, we moved to California. So our whole life changed then. We were living in New York, living that high stress life. And as we started losing the weight, we started realizing we're not really happy living this life. We need to make that change. And that's when we moved back here to Southern California, and then really took it to the next level and started living our passion in a whole new way.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. That's amazing, because I've seen your husband and he looks fit now. I mean, so
Yeah.
how long ago did this begin for you?
Yeah, it began 15 years ago. So that's
So you guys
also it.
were able to be consistent then. So since you made this choice, you've been able to be consistent and just dive deeper into it.
Yeah.
So what would you say? Everything starts with the mind first, right?
Yeah.
So I've been taking in that you got really inspired to just educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of things did you focus, or what sort of things really stood out that motivated you, that you were learning in that process when you were first starting to educate yourself?
Yeah, I think for me, it was the mindset connection. A lot of times when I thought about diets before I knew what to do, and I was going through these diets and I would be overwhelmed, and I didn't have a healthy relationship with food. So after going through this program, I learned what a healthy relationship with food is. And like you said, I learned mindful eating. That's something that's really important, and to really honor what is available to us, and realize that what we're putting into our bodies is also how we are going to feel mentally. And it was kind of a trifecta. Like, a big part of it is definitely nutrition and fitness and health, but also a big part of it is the mindset, and another part of it is the self-care and the spirituality. So for the only way for you to maintain the weight loss, because what I've also found, and this is why I love what I do, is 95% of people who go on diets end up gaining the weight back in just a few years. And this is why we're
I
on
don't
this
even
roller
like the word
coaster.
diet. It's got to be a lifestyle. It's got to be
Yeah.
something that you incorporate
Yes,
in your everyday life. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So and that's exactly what you focus on. You have to focus on that lifestyle of ways that you enjoy eating, movement that you enjoy doing. So some things that you can do on a continued basis, and be true to yourself, be true to your heart, and what you're really looking for is super important. So if you bring all of those together, the science of nutrition and the psychology of the mindset that you're thinking and the spirituality of the self-love, then you're going to naturally be healthy. That's truly what health is bringing all of those together.
Maria, I can really relate. And I think a lot of people who watch this video can relate to, I also made that transition from corporate to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And even though we make the transition, the habits can transition as well, the poor habits.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're an entrepreneur and you have all this freedom, we don't realize how important discipline is, and having rituals and routines, especially when it comes to health and fitness, right?
Absolutely.
Because we're so focused on having all this freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of your routines or some essentials in your day that are non-negotiable now in your lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, it's a little bit of keeping that organization of scheduling things in and putting yourself as a priority. And that is things as simple as meal planning is something that is really helpful to me, knowing how I'm going to be focused. Like even today, I scheduled my lunchtime before our meeting because I knew after this I had other things going on, and if I didn't eat earlier today, it's not going to happen until 5-6 o'clock. So it was really honoring to make sure that I fueled my body so I had enough to go on throughout the day. Also putting in movement that I enjoy in my day. I like to start the day early. So the first thing I do is I'll wake up in the morning and I start my day with drinking a big glass of water, and then I read. I read something that is inspiring to me, spiritual to me, and that can be 5 minutes, that can be 10 minutes. And that's how my day starts pretty much every day, whether it's the weekday or the weekends, and that's what really fuels me. After that, I like to move my body. If I don't get my movement done in the early morning, sometimes other things take over and then I don't get that in. So I'll do some exercise, and it's really important to find exercise that you enjoy doing. That is like key to it. Otherwise you won't do it, because getting up early in the morning is a hurdle in itself. So you have to do something that you enjoy. So I actually exercise with my husband. So that's something that we found that we love to do. And that's a way that we keep each other accountable. So that's been a fantastic way to start my day each morning. So those are a few non-negotiables
I
that
love
I
that.
put in there.
Yeah. And a lot of, I really get inspired by a lot of the posts that you have too about eating nutritionally and some of the substitutes you have, because
Yeah.
I can't have dairy anymore. And that's been
Yes.
really difficult process for me because I
Mm,
love cheese.
yeah.
And I would continue to eat cheese and like suffer so much from the pain. And
Yeah.
why do I keep doing this?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you post all these different alternatives.
Yes.
That's key. How did you get inspired to learn some of these alternatives?
That was another place where I really focused as, transformational nutrition coach, was helping people eliminate those intolerances. Like you said, when I eat cheese, like these things happen and it doesn't feel good, but I love cheese, so I want to replace that. And same thing with me. There's foods that I love that I didn't want to necessarily give that up because it was something that brought me joy. So we can't get rid of something and not replace it. We always have to replace it with something else. So helping people with intolerances, and like dairy is a big one that we're very intolerant to. Gluten is another big one. Sugar is another big one. So it was important for me
Yeah.
to find ways to still enjoy those type of foods that we were getting that from, but without having the intolerance from it. So it's definitely a lot of research and studying and getting in the kitchen and trying things out is a way to do that.
What do you feel, Maria, in your own journey has been one of the biggest struggles for you, or biggest challenges or hurdles to overcome?
One of my biggest struggles and challenges to overcome, I think it would be in my own journey, really staying consistent every single day and honoring that. And it's really, and that's why for me, scheduling is super important. Having that consistency is the
Yeah.
key to maintaining that. I've maintained that for 15 years, and it's only because I've been aware of it. And are there things that come into my life that are super helpful and that go away sometimes? And then I'm like, oh, I can't believe I'm not doing that anymore. I have to get back into that. That absolutely happens. We're human. It's not like everything is always working out perfectly. So being aware of that and bringing that back in is important.
And what do you think has, or what has been your, what do you feel most proud of yourself in this journey thus far?
I really think it has allowed me to have the energy that I want to have. So I could have the
Yeah.
confidence to share my transformation with other people in a way that is super helpful to them.
That you just touched on the very core of what I'm really seeking out of this experience is
Mm,
energy to a whole new level.
yeah.
I have high energy, but it's high, low, high, low.
Yeah.
And so I want it more sustainable. And
Yeah.
I can hear the message, moving my body, I'm going to naturally feel a lot more energized. Would you
Mm-hmm.
say that's what you know as well?
Yeah, moving your body is going to keep you a lot more energized, and
Yeah,
really, really being aware of the foods that you're eating. And
right.
a lot of times, what I find is even with me, I'll have clients who will come to me and they say, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing everything right, and I'm not losing a pound and I don't feel better and I still feel this. And then when we can dive deeper into their food journal, and that's another important thing to really uncover where you are, is keeping a food journal. You can start to see maybe things that sneak in there that you're not aware of, because
Right.
oftentimes we'll be eating foods that maybe it is a healthy food but it might not agree with you, or maybe it's a
Right.
food that we've been told is healthy and there's something in there that is causing your body to have weight loss resistance, which will again bring your energy down. So there's quite a few different things that could do that, and there's layers of health too. I like to tell people health is kind of like a ladder, and in the middle of the ladder of the rungs is all the different kinds of ways our health, our actual physical health, needs support. And sometimes people will say, I have thyroid issues. And that's kind of a little bit deeper down the rung of the ladder. So before we can really work on the thyroid issue, we want to go back up to the top of the ladder and go to more of the surface thing, the digestive things, like you were saying with the dairy, like really addressing that first, addressing any deficiencies maybe in nutrients or vitamins that your body might be getting, how you're feeling energetically and what you're getting into your body. And when we can go through that whole ladder, and that's where I spend a bulk of my time with nutrition, is really working through that ladder. But in order to hold that ladder up, we have two sides of it, and those two sides are the mental aspect of it, the psychology of what's going on, and the other side that's holding up that ladder is our spiritual health, our self-care. So if we can keep those two ends together, then we can easily work more in the center of that health part.
I love how you explained that. That was
Yeah.
wonderful. So also my question also is, when you very first started your journey and you were feeding yourself with all this education on nutrition,
Yeah.
was there, what were some of the 1 to 3 like maybe simple things that you started out with? Like you said, you and your husband, you started out really slow. Was there like a simple, like a food that you started eating? Was there some sort of workout you started doing? What's that? I'm always looking for simplicity.
Yeah.
Touched on.
Yep.
What were some of the simple things, or even with your clients, what are some of the simple, very, very simple but effective um, habits or foods or something that you, or even workout? What's most essential to pay attention to in the very beginning of this journey?
Yeah, I would say there's 2 things, and I call them the 7 to 9. So 2 things that you want to get 7 to 9 of. So number 1 is sleep. 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So strangely enough, above and beyond exercise and nutrition, sleep is really where a lot of the healing begins. So that's almost your foundation. And the other thing you want to think about in 7 to 9 is eating 7 to 9 fruits and vegetables a day. So if we can get in 7 to 9 fruits and vegetables, we're actually feeding our body the nutrients that it needs. It's going to start to heal itself in a digestive way. And you're also feeding your body good food, so you're also feeding your mind good food.
I love that. And that's so simple. It's just a very simple,
Yeah, so
simple
it's an
thing.
easy thing to remember. 7 to
Yeah.
9 hours of sleep, 7 to 9 fruits and vegetables. So then you break that down. Sometimes people are like, 7 to 9 fruits and vegetables, how am I going to get that in there? So then we break that down into different meals and different ways to do that.
That's awesome. What do you wish more people knew about nutrition?
That just making simple shifts will make a big difference.
That's a great reminder, especially because so much of this is a journey of self-love.
Yes.
And that can be, we can get into this not enoughness, not I'm doing this right, or I'm not seeing the results or whatever. And it is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
So always remembering. Yeah. So I like that. We share that value in common for sure.
Absolutely.
And then share what's going on right now. How can people learn more about stepping further, learning more about you and what it in your expertise?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I love that. I actually, I'm here in Southern California in Manhattan Beach, and I do things locally, but I also have some great online programs. I'm actually launching a new mastermind coaching program all about nutrition that is coming out next month, and you can find out more about that on my website at mariamizzi.com.
All right. And you are the mastermind queen. I have witnessed you having all these amazing masterminds.
Yeah.
So you're just doing so much goodness in this world. And thank you so much. Thanks for the patience with the technology.
Yes,
and we made it happen. That was win together.
Yes.
And as always, I'm always inspired just seeing your feed and what you're posting and what you're sharing. And I just want to thank you for your time today. And thank you for supporting me in my journey. And I'm definitely sharing this with the community. So is there anything else that you want to share?
Absolutely. Thank you. You're making a big difference in the community too. Yes. I really enjoyed the interview, and I'm here for you for your journey too.
Thank you, dear. All right. Well, I look forward to talking to you and seeing you again soon.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.